Hey English 111, Lin2. I am checking in with you guys on this shortened week for most people. We had to work yesterday, so we still had classes, but I wanted to touch base with you guys in regard to your next assignment. So this is a big one. Last week you guys finished up your annotated bibliographies on your chosen topics for your argument essay, and this week you guys are going to write that argument essay. So I'm going to go over some expectations with you. I'm going to make sure you guys understand some things, and hopefully everyone will be on the same page, okay? So it is my responsibility in this course to make sure y'all leave with a firm understanding of MLA format, the importance of documentation, and how to write a formal academic research paper for college. That's what you guys need to leave knowing. So I know you had an instructor switch mid-semester, and that's crazy, but this stuff that we're going over right now, this is the important stuff that you really need to leave the class knowing. So this is what your final exam will consist of: MLA format, formal academic writing, those types of things. That's it. So just be aware of that. So if you want to go ahead and get back into Moodle and open up your PowerPoint for this week on format and argument essay, I highly suggest that you guys take some notes as you follow along with me. So you don't need to watch me. You can just listen in the background while you go through the PowerPoint and take some additional notes on the things that I'm saying. So just a reminder of what MLA format should look like. Your paper should be 12-point Times New Roman font. It should be double spaced. There should be a header at the top of every page. Your header should have your last name and the page number. That should also be in Times New Roman font, 12-point. So you will have to change your font for the paper and for the header and for the page number. So make sure you get all of those. There should be a heading on the first page. Your MLA heading is your name, my name, the course, and the date. And the date goes day, month, year with no punctuation. Your title should be centered. It should be the same font as the rest of the paper, Times New Roman, 12-point font, no underlining or italics or quotation marks or anything like that. And you can always use Purdue OWL to check your format. Your paper is required to be research-based. So you did your annotated bibliography, and you were to use the LRC only to locate those articles, and you will use these articles to prove your paper's thesis. So your research should come all from the LRC. That's super important. You are allowed to use Procon for one source. Everything else should be coming from the LRC, scholarly articles only. Don't Google your topic. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. Your in-text citations should be formatted in MLA style. And the way that I teach the parenthetical in-text citation is that it has a very clear relationship with your works cited page. So you have your works cited page and your full citations are complete. What goes in the parentheses is the first word or couple of words from the full citation on the works cited page, and a page number when available. So if it's an author's last name, that's great. It's just author's last name, page number. Easy. If there's more than one author, you list up to 3. So if it was 3 people, you would list all 3 names, comma, comma, and then the page number. If you have more than 3 authors, then you use the first person's last name and et al, E-T-A-L. That means and others. And it should be that way in the full citation for you as well. The LRC always lets us know when there are page numbers. The page numbers are in the full citation, so make sure that you are noting what page you are getting quotations and information from, because you will need to include that page number. You have to download the PDF to get the accurate page numbers. If you just go by, oh, it was on the first page and you put a 1, that is an incorrect citation. If there is no author, and that you will find with Procon, you will use either the website title or the title of the article. And so for pro-con, your website title, the title page would be whatever the topic is, and it goes in quotation marks. And then pro-con is who published it. And you can find how to do a website citation on Purdue OWL, so you want to make sure you include all of that information for your full citation. Then in your parentheses, you would have in quotation marks the title of the website. There is no page number for a website. So if my paper is on police body cameras, then the title of the web page is going to be police body cameras in quotation marks. Pro-con will be in italics because they published it with a link and a date. And then in the parentheses, I would have in quotation marks police body cameras. Okay, so that's super important. And I have examples here in your PowerPoint for you to see. Your works cited page needs to have your citations listed properly. It needs to be in ABC or alphabetical format. You need to have hanging indentations, and that means that the first line is left aligned and everything else is tabbed in. And you can find examples of that on in Moodle and also on Purdue OWL. Make sure that you're including fully complete citations. So your argument essay requirements are that you are only using the library database for your research, and you are allowed to use pro-con as one source. I suggest focusing on the background for that, and that's for the web page, and pro-con is listed as one source, not multiple. Using NC Live helps you find scholarly articles, and the citation is already done for you, so that's best. You already did your annotated bibliography, so you should have your articles, and hopefully you've already read and annotated those. Expectations for an academic paper. This is my expectation in your argument paper, and you will find this question on your final exam. You cannot use personal pronouns in a formal academic paper. You should not use contractions in a formal academic paper. You should not directly address the reader, meaning you should not say, imagine, so and so and so on, or consider, that's the you is implied. You're addressing the reader. You are only presenting research in this paper. It does not matter what you think, how you feel, what you believe. What is your thesis, and what did the research say to prove that thesis? Do not end your paper with in conclusion or in summary or anything like that. That's just bad writing. You can take that out, and then whatever you had behind that, that's your statement. You should not ask questions in your paper. You should be making statements, and you should spell out numbers under 100 and any symbols. If you guys are not in MLA format, then your paper is going to be penalized. If you have a paper with no in-text citations or no works cited page, you receive an F on the paper. I don't even read it. That is our English department policy. You must have works cited page and you must have in-text citations. Otherwise, the paper is plagiarized. Make sure you have a clear thesis statement. Your thesis statement goes at the end of your introductory paragraph. Make sure you're writing about an allowed topic, and you completely remove yourself from the writing. There are some websites here, Purdue OWL MLA, How to Write an Argument Essay. Those are great resources for you. When you come back into Moodle, you will see that I give you some writing tips. So your introductory paragraph should be simple. It should be no more than like 5 sentences long, and the last 2 sentences should be a thesis statement. Your thesis statement should clearly state your topic, your claim, and 3 things that will prove that claim, without saying I will prove it this way, okay? So if my topic is school uniforms and my claim is that they are beneficial to schools, then I will say school uniforms are beneficial to the public school system because, and then I would give 3 reasons. They are cost effective, they lower the incidence of fighting, and they lessen the number of bullying reports. Something like that. I made that up. I don't know if it's right, but that's what your thesis statement should sound like, okay? So your introduction should be simple. Why is it important? And then your thesis statement at the end. Then you might go into a little bit of background information on your topic. That should not be longer than a paragraph or so. Most likely that'll come from pro-con's background, but you need to cite pro-con if it does. And if you take any words directly from a source, they must be in quotation marks. I give you kind of a basic formula for setting up your paragraphs. Use this. So you have a topic sentence, which talks about what the whole paragraph is going to be about. And then you have your research, okay? So what proves those things? And then you transition into your next sentence, into your next topic. You cannot use I statements. You cannot use you. No I, no me, no we, no our, no your, none of that. Third person. I give you a link to Grammarly. Please use that. That'll catch your grammar mistakes. You must include an in-text citation if you take information from sources. Whether you paraphrase, whether you summarize, or whether you direct quote, if it comes from a different source, you have to cite it. And then make sure that you guys have to write an outline, okay? So I'm not checking your outline ahead of time, meaning before you write your rough draft, you should come up with some sort of an outline, organizing what you're gonna talk about. So going back to my school uniform argument, if my school uniform is the topic and I'm claiming that it's beneficial to schools, my 3 reasons are gonna be cost-effective bullying fights, okay? Then Roman numeral 1 would be the cost effectiveness, and then I would put all my information there. Roman numeral 2 would be how it lessens fights, and I would put all my information there. And Roman numeral 3 would be the bullying, and I would put all my information, okay? That's organizing what I have into those categories so that my paper is not redundant and so that it proves my thesis. You wanna make sure everything you're putting in your paper proves your thesis and goes back to that thesis statement. So you will be including your outline with your final draft. So when you turn your final draft in, it's due December 1st. I believe yours might be due, actually. Yours might be due December 8th. No. Yours is due December 1st. So your final draft is gonna be due December 1st. Your paper will be normal setup, first page of the paper, then your works cited page, and then your outline will come after the works cited page. That's important. So your first draft is due, your rough draft is due Monday, November 18th. You need to submit your paper to the rough draft assignment category by Monday, November 18th. A rough draft is a complete rough draft, meaning you have your word count, you have your citations, you have your works cited page. It's just you need to clean it up. You need to revise it, okay? That's what I'm looking for. You're gonna submit it here. It's a 50-point grade. I will be giving you guys some basic feedback on that draft. Next week, you're going to take that draft and you're also going to submit it to NetTutor so you can get some detailed feedback from them, and you're gonna participate in a peer edit. So those 2 things will happen next week, and then you will be revising the week after, and your final paper will be due actually it's December the 2nd for you guys, because you're due on, all your stuff's due on Mondays. So that's like very different than what I do in my classes. So I'm trying to keep it consistent for you. So your due dates are Mondays, and I will make sure that I'm keeping that up to date. So you have 2 things to do this week. I want you to review both student argument examples. So I give you examples of the papers. I want you to look at both of them, and then I want you to complete your journal assignment. And then you need to go ahead and you need to write your rough draft of your paper. There are some resources here for you. So there is a how to organize your essay in general. There's how to organize a paragraph and how to write an intro paragraph. And I'm gonna add some thesis statement stuff and things like that for you as well. So I'll do that now. If you guys have questions, please don't hesitate to email me. I can get back to you pretty quickly and address those for you, but you need to get your rough draft submitted to that assignment by Monday, November 18th. And then literally the next day, you're gonna take that same paper and you're gonna submit it to NetTutor and to the peer discussion forum. So just be prepared to do that. And again, just please use the resources and touch base with me if you have any questions, and have a good time writing your paper.